Hi, welcome to the Power and Energy Newsroom, ESI Africa. Today I am joined by NOSIZWE, the commercial leader for SSA at GE Gas Power. Welcome, NOSIZWE. It's lovely to have you with us in studio.
Thank you.
So as the world shifts towards a low carbon future, what opportunities do you see GE capitalizing on in Africa's energy market?
Thank you so much for that question, and I think it's a very exciting one for SSA in particular, because it's going to allow Sub-Saharan Africa to leapfrog from a decarbonization strategy point of view, from I think where we place today, into kind of a high impact emissions control environment. Opportunities that we see in the market is the transition for us from coal to gas, which already has around a 50% impact on just the emissions issue alone. We also see, I think, for the rest of our continent, the move from the use of liquid fuels such as HFO and diesel into natural gas, also high reduction in emissions. And when we look at our future and we look at where resources are abundant for renewable energy, we also know that the combination of gas and renewables is going to then further have this amazing impact for our continent. We are endowed with these resources, which makes us quite well positioned, I think, to really probably lead, I think, the future of decarbonization for emerging markets.
Absolutely. And I love that you pointed out that gas and renewable energy together as an energy mix would help us to accelerate our energy transition. But there are plenty of misconceptions out there, given that gas is a non-renewable energy source. So as specializers in gas at GE Gas and Power, what role do you see gas playing in South Africa's just energy transition?
If you look at kind of how a grid system works and the need for base load power, which is what coal fulfills for South Africa today, going into our future as we begin this decommissioning drive of our coal power plants, we're still going to need an energy source that is baseload, because our skies are not always shining and the wind is not always blowing, and it's not actually practically possible to have enough storage capacity to provide for, I think, the quantiles of energy sources that we need. And therefore, the flexibility that gas has, its ability to manage intermittency, especially that's created by renewables in our grid system, is quite critical. It is not a perfect situation for all, but it's a necessary situation in order to ensure energy security for the country and also help us to then in future further industrialize.
Yes, and I think energy security is very important when we're thinking about what we're going to do with our energy sector in the future. So what challenges do you think Africa has in trying to achieve this energy security, and how does GE address these?
The challenges are plenty for SSA, but I don't think these are challenges that we cannot overcome. I think one of the biggest challenges, and I'm going to take South Africa and isolate it for a moment, is we're just a country where we don't have gases yet, as an example. So we need to look at the policy framework that also ensures that we're able to land gas onto our shores, whether it be indigenous gas, whether it be regional gas, whether it be imported LNG. I think kind of that's the first step. And I think the second piece is to ensure that the various frameworks that govern how we play with gas, as we like to call it, are there. We're excited to hear that the gas master plan is going to be ready by 2023, because that's a really fundamental tool to enable for us to start building and driving this gas economy. And then we have issues around funding and lending. There's an environment and there's a climate at the moment with all sorts of green funds that are floating around, where we feel at times as though gas is being excluded out of these green funds. And people forget that this is the required stabilizing force for economies. And then there are latter challenges around skills and reskilling, and ensuring that the transition in itself is just. How do you basically introduce a new economy within an existing economy and take the people along with you? But all these are issues that certainly can be tackled, not only unique to South Africa, also very common in various markets that we deal with, not only in the region of Sub-Sahara, but other emerging and developed markets as well.
Thank you for that. So lastly, I just want to know, after it's been 2 years without social interaction, we're finally back at Enlit Africa, where the theme is collaboration to accelerate Africa's just energy transition. So I just want to touch on collaboration a little bit. Why do you think it's so important that players in the energy industry collaborate with one another to achieve a common goal?
I mean, first of all, it's so exciting to just be back and just to meet some of our colleagues face to face. Nothing surpasses, I think, human interaction and face-to-face conversations. And collaboration is important in any type of infrastructure sector, but particularly in gas, because the ecosystem is broad and it's complex and it's got many different players. So it really does take a village, to put 1 megawatt on our grid. It's a combination of project developers, of lenders, policymakers, EPCs, OEMs, legal. So it's an entire plethora of people that are needed to kind of sit down and make all of these wonderful programs that we're talking about a reality. And without that collaboration, unfortunately, we know that that ecosystem does fall apart and it breaks down. So it's important that we stay connected, we keep close to each other, we continue to debate, to share ideas, and also to consolidate and innovate together, I think, as all types of role players within the energy sector ecosystem.
Wow, thank you so much. It has been lovely speaking with you. For all our watchers out there, this has been ESI Africa Studio on site at Enlit. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.